Today I show you how to enable HDR and video recording on your Android phone. Here I have my Sony Xperia 1 Mark V, and the apps are a little bit different than the common Android phones, but here the camera app has the video mode and the photo mode. Normally in the photo app you will have the option for video HDR recording or photo HDR recording the same way, and HDR stands for high dynamic range, meaning that the quality of the colors and also the brightness is a little bit different than the usual SDR, standard dynamic range. Usually you can tell video is HDR when the brightness on your phone or TV increases while watching it. Here you see BT709, and that's the option I have here for this video. And if I record with BT709, that's SDR. And the SDR stands for standard dynamic range. The TVs and everything, all the media before, that used to be the standard way of having videos on TV and even online media. But now with HDR you can have multiple versions of HDR, and my favorite is the HLG. And HLG is playable on SDR formats and also on HDR screens. So now you see SDR, and then you see HDR, HLG-BT 2020. That's the color space. It's not really necessary to really know much about this, especially if you're going to record the videos for yourself. I believe it's better to record the videos in 4K 30 HDR or 4K 60 HDR if you have enough light. The HDR will really make it much better. It will look much better on modern 4K TV screens and also on mobile devices. You can always convert HDR back into SDR with a few special tools, but it's also possible to convert SDR to HDR, but it's a little bit harder, I believe. The easiest is to use HLG, which is easily playable on older screens, older TV screens and monitors that are not HDR. For PC monitors, the HDR, it's taking some time to reach the PC monitors, but for TVs, HDR is everywhere. Most of TVs, maybe, I'm not sure if there are any TVs which are not HDR these days, especially OLED TVs. And for the mobile phones, most mobile phones these days have HDR. By default, the screens are HDR. I show you here most of the settings in the Video Pro app on Xperia, but this app, it's a little bit more specialized. It's not a common app to have on most Android phones. The simple photo app is what you will usually find, and most of the time, even on iPhone and Samsung and most of the apps like Gcam, you will have settings for HDR video. And other than the format, you can also choose the recording, if it's H.265 or H.264. The H.265 HEVC is the high efficiency video codec. That's gonna take less space for more quality, but it's gonna need more processing power when you're playing it. Most people prefer to have the more classic format like H.264, especially that's more compatible with older devices. H.265 needs more processing power, and older devices and even computers might not be able to process it easily, but it's gonna take a lot less space for the same quality of video. There is also the high efficiency image codec, where you have photos in the HEIF format, HEIF or something like this, but for video the format, the extension of the file doesn't really change. I hope this convinces you to record your videos, any kind of videos you're making, in HDR format, and especially if you're going to edit the files later, the H.265 might be a little bit too heavy on it, but if you're playing the files just to have them as memories, H.265 4K 30 HDR. Thanks for watching, I hope this helps you.